In the rolling countryside of Staffordshire, England, where ancient woodlands meet modern suburbia, lies a case that challenges every assumption about missing persons investigation. What began as a routine search for a missing teenager evolved into something far more disturbing, leaving investigators with evidence that defies conventional explanation and questions that remain unanswered more than 2 decades later. But before we uncover the mystery, hit that subscribe button below. It was March 15, 2001, just past 9 in the evening, when 17-year-old Hannah Williams stepped out of her family home in the village of Cannock, Staffordshire. The evening air carried the scent of damp earth and budding trees as spring settled over the English countryside. Hannah, a petite brunette with had told her parents she was meeting friends at the local pub, a routine Thursday night gathering that had never caused concern before. The Williams family lived in a converted farmhouse on the edge of Cannock, a sprawling area of woodland and heathland that stretched across 26 square miles of central England. Ancient oak and birch trees formed dense canopies over pathways that had been walked for centuries, while hidden clearings and forgotten ruins dotted the landscape like secrets waiting to be discovered. Hannah never arrived at the pub that night. Her friends waited until closing time before calling her mobile phone, which went straight to voicemail. By midnight, her parents had contacted Staffordshire police, beginning what would become one of the most perplexing missing persons cases in the county's history. The initial investigation followed standard procedures. Officers interviewed Hannah's friends, family members, and acquaintances, searching for any indication of where she might have gone. Hannah was described as responsible and reliable, with no history of running away or engaging in risky behavior. She was studying for her A-levels, planning to attend university the following year, and maintained a close relationship with her parents and younger brother. The first search of Cannock began at dawn on March 16th. Dozens of volunteers joined police officers and search dogs in combing through the woodland, following established trails and venturing into dense undergrowth. The forest seemed to swallow their calls, returning only silence and the rustle of wind through bare branches. On the second day of searching, one of the police dogs led handlers to a section of woodland approximately 2 miles from the Williams home. There, hanging from a low branch of an ancient oak tree, was Hannah's denim jacket. The garment showed no signs of damage or struggle, appearing to have been carefully placed rather than torn or discarded in haste. Beneath the tree, investigators discovered something far more unsettling. Pressed into the soft earth were Hannah's footprints, clearly identifiable by the distinctive tread pattern of her trainers. The prints formed a perfect circle around the base of the oak tree, as if she had walked in continuous loops for an extended period. Crime scene technicians counted 37 complete circuits, each footprint clear and deliberate. What troubled investigators most was the depth and clarity of the impressions. The prints suggested Hannah had walked the same circular path repeatedly, pressing her feet firmly into the ground with each step. No signs of coercion or struggle marked the scene, yet the behavior implied by the evidence defied rational explanation. Detective Inspector Margaret Thornton, who led the investigation, noted in her official report that the footprints showed no variation in stride length or pressure, indicating a mechanical, almost trance-like state. The precise spacing between prints suggested Hannah had maintained the exact same pace throughout her circular journey, never faltering or changing direction. 3 days into the investigation, searchers made another discovery that deepened the mystery. Hannah's mobile phone was found in a different section of the forest, nearly a mile from where her jacket had been recovered. The device lay in the center of a small clearing, its battery completely drained despite being nearly full when Hannah left home. When technicians examined the phone's call log and message history, they found something that sent chills through the investigative team. The device showed 17 missed calls from Hannah's own home number, all placed during the hours she had been missing. Her parents adamantly denied making any calls to her phone that night, and phone company records confirmed no outgoing calls from the Williams landline during the relevant time period. More disturbing were the text messages stored in the phone's memory. 17 identical messages, all sent from Hannah's number to her own phone, each containing the same cryptic phrase, "The old woman was right about the trees." Hannah's parents and friends had no knowledge of any old woman or what connection she might have had to their daughter. As the search expanded, volunteers began reporting strange encounters in the forest. Several described meeting an elderly woman in outdated clothing who approached searchers with warnings about venturing too deep into certain areas of woodland. The woman, described as having silver hair and wearing a long dark coat, would appear suddenly on forest paths, speak her warnings, then disappear just as quickly into the trees. Multiple witnesses provided consistent descriptions of this mysterious figure, yet no one in the local community could identify her. Police attempts to locate and interview the woman proved unsuccessful, as if she materialized only to deliver her warnings before vanishing back into the forest shadows. On March 20th, 5 days after Hannah's disappearance, investigators received a call that would transform the case entirely. A local historian named Dr. Edmund Blackwood contacted police with information about the specific area where Hannah's jacket had been found. His research into local folklore and historical records revealed disturbing patterns connected to that particular section of Cannock Chase. Dr. Blackwood's archives contained documentation of 17 previous disappearances in the same general area, spanning nearly 2 centuries. The cases shared unsettling similarities: young women vanishing without explanation, personal belongings found arranged in specific patterns, and witness reports of an elderly woman warning people away from the forest. The historical records painted a picture of recurring phenomena that defied conventional explanation. In 1843, a young woman named Catherine Mills vanished while gathering herbs in the forest. Her apron was found hanging from the same oak tree where Hannah's jacket would be discovered more than a century later. In 1926, Sarah Thompson disappeared during an evening walk, leaving behind only her shoes arranged in a neat circle beneath the ancient oak. Each case in Dr. Blackwood's research shared the element of the mysterious elderly woman who appeared to warn potential victims before their disappearance. Local folklore spoke of a guardian spirit who tried to protect young women from some ancient danger lurking in the depths of Cannock Chase, but her warnings were rarely heeded. The investigation took another disturbing turn when crime scene technicians returned to process the oak tree more thoroughly. Using specialized equipment to examine the bark and surrounding soil, they discovered something that challenged their understanding of the timeline. Carbon dating of organic material pressed into the tree's bark revealed traces that were decades old, yet appeared to contain fibers matching Hannah's clothing. Laboratory analysis of soil samples from the circular footprint pattern yielded equally confusing results. The earth showed signs of repeated compression spanning years, possibly decades, as if the same circular walking pattern had been performed countless times by multiple individuals over an extended period. Forensic botanists noted another anomaly in the vegetation surrounding the oak tree. Plants and fungi in the immediate area showed growth patterns consistent with soil that had been regularly disturbed, yet local groundskeepers insisted the area had remained untouched by human activity for years before Hannah's disappearance. As weeks turned to months without any trace of Hannah herself, the investigation began focusing on the broader patterns Dr. Blackwood had identified. Police discovered that the 17 historical disappearances occurred at roughly 12 to 15-year intervals, with Hannah's case fitting perfectly into the established timeline. More troubling was the discovery that each disappearance coincided with specific astronomical events. Hannah vanished during a new moon in March, the same lunar phase and month as 16 of the 17 historical cases. The single exception occurred during a solar eclipse, suggesting some connection to celestial cycles that investigators couldn't explain. Detective Inspector Thornton's final report, classified and sealed from public view, reportedly contained evidence so unsettling that it led to the immediate suspension of active search efforts. Sources within Staffordshire Police suggested the report detailed additional discoveries at the oak tree site that were deemed too sensitive for public release. Witnesses who had participated in the search began reporting shared dreams in the months following Hannah's disappearance. Multiple individuals described identical visions of Hannah walking endlessly in circles beneath the oak tree, trapped in some form of temporal loop that prevented her from finding her way home. The dreams always featured the same elderly woman watching from the forest shadows, her warnings unheeded as another young woman joined the eternal circular dance beneath the ancient branches. Those who experienced these visions reported waking with the taste of earth in their mouths and the sound of footsteps echoing in their ears. In the years since Hannah's disappearance, Cannock Chase has remained a place of unease for local residents. Hikers report sudden temperature drops in the area around the oak tree, while others describe hearing the sound of footsteps on paths where no one walks. The elderly woman in the dark coat continues to appear to visitors, her warnings now including Hannah's name alongside those of the other lost women. The Williams family moved away from Staffordshire within a year of their daughter's disappearance, unable to remain in a house that overlooked the forest where she vanished. The converted farmhouse stands empty now, its windows dark and gardens overgrown, as if even the building itself mourns the loss of the girl who once called it home. Recent attempts by paranormal investigators to study the oak tree site have yielded disturbing results. Recording equipment placed in the area captures the sound of footsteps circling the tree throughout the night, while photographs taken at specific times show shadowy figures that weren't visible to the naked eye. Most unsettling are the continued reports of the mysterious text messages. Visitors to Cannock Chase occasionally receive texts from unknown numbers containing variations of Hannah's final message about the old woman and the trees, sent from phones that show no record of the transmissions in their outgoing message logs. What do you think really happened to Hannah Williams beneath that ancient oak tree in Cannock Chase? The evidence suggests something far beyond a simple missing persons case, but the truth remains locked away in classified files and the silent shadows of an English forest.